Welcome back, everybody. Guess what? It is planting day again. Now we're getting into the in-ground garden, and the in-ground garden I have managed to get tilled and get all of the soil amendments in and get the rows all done. I'm very happy about that. I've got one more day before the 2-day rains hit, and so I'm going to try and get all of the big stuff in that I can. And big stuff meaning the squash plants, the pole beans, and maybe the tomatoes if I can hold out that long, because they're getting pretty big too. Now in here is a tray of the seed starts, and as you can tell, we got a lot of big stuff right here. I was going to transplant, originally in my last video I talked about transplanting a lot of the squash plants into buckets. I'm actually not going to do that. I did one before we ran out of daylight the other day, and it's struggling. It needs to be in ground. So I'm basically, like I said, I'm going to try and get all of the big stuff in the in-ground garden today. And we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to bring you along for the journey. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And let's get started. Okay, so I did a little research on how to get plants out of these itty bitty cells, because they're a righteous pain in the butt. So my pole beans are all the way in the last 4 cells. So it's my understanding that, and we're trying to do this gently, is that you can take a screwdriver, oh, and it worked, and pop them out. Just like that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really had no idea if that was going to work. Okay, so now that we've got that, I'm going to put, and this is probably a mistake, but I'm going to put, hopefully you can see, because my phone is not wanting to. Okay, what I'm going to do is put 2 in here, side by side, and hope that that's correct. Oh, guys, I have to admit, I haven't even gotten wound up yet, and my knees are killing me. This is tragic. Okay, let's pop out a second. If I can get it untangled. Okay. Alrighty. Let's get them covered. This is a little difficult trying to fit my big old head in here and plant at the same time. But it was just going to be easier for me to go ahead and get these guys in after the fact, I think. Gosh, that one stem got damaged. Hopefully we can get it to hang in there. It got crimped like this guy. No, that one busted, but okay. Unfortunately, we did have some casualties. Nice big fat rock. Okay, smooth out the dirt here. And I amended with my garden soil that you saw me use before throughout the entire in-ground garden. And then I used topsoil, which is mostly fertilizer, and a mix of fertilizer and compost. All right, so I'm going to continue on to the next one and keep going from there. Okay, what I'm going to do, guys, is because these pole beans have suffered some damage. I'm not so sure they're going to make it. So I'm going to put a little added insurance in. I'm putting in some extra beans, so I'm probably going to regret that, but yeah, because the other ones are even more damaged, just in transit, and they got so leggy, I couldn't get them in the ground fast enough, but these things happen in the gardening world. So I'm going to get these beans in, I'm going to get what's left of those other 2 pole bean plants, and we're going to see what happens. You never know. Okay, so I have returned and I've moved on. I watered in the pole beans and lined up the squash on the opposite side of the garden where they're going to go, and we're going to put in some zucchini right here. So I've already pulled them from the cell trays and gotten them ready to go. I just need to pop them in a couple of holes, if I can get my gloves on right, that is. I don't know why it is, but I tend to put these gloves on backwards every single time. It can be quite entertaining. Okay, so I've got one hole dug already, and I'm going to kind of bury them up to their necks pretty good. I'm going to be, like I said, we sustained some damage, but I'm going to kind of group these guys pretty close together because that way they'll become just one plant. I know they're going to get big, but that's okay. We got 2 basic. There's 3 plants here, but one's kind of a little feeble. He didn't want to come out of the cell, so he got a little bruised up. So we're going to put him with this guy. See if I can do this without beating him up too badly. Okay, those look pretty good. And then we're going to pop this guy in. Good looking plants. They have fared pretty well considering they were in those itty-bitty cell pots for quite a while. Okay, I'll put my little marker over here. Not that I'll be able to read it in a couple of weeks, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to keep moving with these guys. I'm going to get them watered in first, and we're going to go from there. Okay, I got the zucchini watered in, and now I'm going to be putting in some of the pumpkins. Now what I've got going in right here is the Long Island cheese squash, pumpkin, I'm not sure which one it is, and a Cinderella pumpkin, and then I think this guy over here is, I can't pronounce it, it's French, a mesquite something, I can't pronounce it, but it's pretty cool looking. It's supposed to be very tasty, so I'm hoping it's successful. So now I know that I'm putting these pretty close together, and there is a reason for that. I only have so much real estate to work with, and as I'm successful, I'll kind of know what is and what isn't as far as, you know, what I'm dealing with. But I really feel like it will be fine. I'm more of an intuitive gardener. I listen to spirit, you know, nature. Kind of steers me in the right direction, and it's never steered me wrong. So I think that this will be just fine. That's a happy little plant. Put my little stake in, and we're going to move on to this guy over here. If I can keep from falling over. Should probably switch angles here with my step stool. Or my knee bench, or whatever you want to call this little guy. Oh. Okay, so get some little friendly rocks out of the way here. And let's see if I can maybe tilt you down just a hair here. See if that helps. Somebody's calling for their dog Barkley, who was just in my yard a few minutes ago. He was eyeballing the garden, but I think he got more interested in the leaves we have all over the property. Okay, let's see if we can get this guy out. There we go. Alrighty. Let's see here. About getting some goodness covered around this friend. Beautiful plants. I tell you what, this year using the heat mats and the humidity domes was an absolute game changer. I couldn't quite pull it off last year, cost-wise, but this year I was able to get mats that would fit underneath all of the seed trays, so it really paid off. Okay, got that guy in, and I'm going to move on and finish doing some pumpkins. So I'll be right back. So, I'm going to start here. Okay, that looks good. Okay. I have to be kind of stealthy here. I have an ant colony nearby. And it does not like the fact that I am disrupting their day. Okay. So, the next one, we're going to go right about there. Okay. And I'm just pressing them down gently, just to get them set in the ground. Nothing crazy. And I knocked out my chervil, so I have no idea where that came from. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Okay. And let's get this last guy in, and then we'll move on down the row. Well, we got a number of them planted out, as you can see here. These guys are the ones that'll be going in pots for the most part. I was going to try and get tomatoes planted today, but the ants are angry, and yeah, so I'm not going to fight with them. So let's look at what we got done today. I have not put down any weed barrier yet, or the drip hoses or the soaker hoses. So we got all of the contender beans planted, and we got the acorn squash planted. If they're kind of tiny little plants, I just group them together for the timing. I'm going to see if they're going to make it or not. If not, hey, I'll start them again. It's all good. These are all the squashes right here. This is the sweet meat squash, and that's all three of these right here. We had one break off. we had something. Actually, I think that's from a weed, if you want to know the truth. Please forgive me for the dog barking in the background. Barkley still has not been found. Over here is the mesquite, the French one that I can't pronounce. And over here is our Cinderella pumpkins, our Long Island cheese pumpkins. And then over here, of course, we got our pole beans and their teepees, which I'm pretty excited about. We're a huge green bean family. We love them. So we got those done, and remember, we did go ahead and add some seeds, green bean seeds as insurance, because some of these plants got damaged and I just don't know how well they're going to fare. So we added some extra seeds, and we do have 2 days of rain coming, so that should get those going. And then over here, our lovely zucchini. So I would say that we got quite a bit done today, guys. I'm pretty excited. I'm way beyond excited. It is so good to be back out in the garden for real. So I would say that all in all, we have done very well today. I want to thank you for coming along with me. And if you enjoy this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, because you are what make this channel. It's up to you guys. I love you, and please take care. And I can't wait to see you the next video. Bye-bye.